Patrick Mahomes. How about this? How about 35 completions? How about 50 attempts? How about over 400 yards? How about 5 touchdowns? How about no picks? By the way, games with 400 passing yards and 5 touchdowns since 2017, Patrick Mahomes 3. The entire rest of the NFL combined, 4. Chiefs take sole possession of first place in the AFC West. Well done. On the money line, minus 150. They cover the spread. I had the Chiefs. B-Mac had the Chiefs. JJ had the Chiefs. There you go. And the home of they cover the spread in this one. The over comes in as well, snapping a 4-game understreak in Chief games. All right, he's like, can we play the Raiders sort of, I don't know, every week? Because 6 out of 7. 86% of the time it works every time. His team scores 36 in those games. He's averaging almost 330 passing yards, including what he did tonight with 406. And look at that ratio, 20-3. And he'll go on the road. Oakland, L.A., Vegas, Mexico City, going to play in London. Anywhere he wants to play. Jacksonville, if they need a game, it doesn't matter.
Baseball diamond, retractable field.
That's exactly it. 4-0 on the highway against the silver and black. CBS Sports HQ, presented by Honda. Determination powers us and everything we do. Chiefs were determined to get it right. There was a lot of talk of their demise.
Yep.
Sometimes the questions, you try not to ask the obvious ones. Sometimes it's just, you just write down the fairway. That's one of there's one obvious question. Are the Chiefs back?
Yes, sir. I think so. I believe so. When you look at what they have in front of them in their division, even with the woes, we still felt like they would wake up and run away with this divisional crown, and I think they're in prime position to do so. And I'm excited about this team, not just because of what we saw from Pat Mahomes today, but how the offensive line unit came together to make life easy for Pat Mahomes. They ran the ball well. They protected Pat Mahomes. He was able to connect with his pass catchers. But the most impressive thing for me, and I'm a defensive-minded guy, so I might be a bit biased, but that's okay. I embrace that. Defensively, they're playing some real good football, high-level football, consistency. They're tackling. They're putting pressure on opposing quarterbacks. They're coming up with huge turnovers. Today, third down-wise, the Raiders only converted 1 third-down opportunity, 1 for 9 on third down opportunity. That's winning football for the Kansas City Chiefs. So if they can continue to play with that mindset and that personality, we know what they will have going on the offensive end with their quarterback. But defensively, they have really improved. And that has been a big-time move for their team, and why I believe they're back. I'm not quite ready to say they're a championship contender, but clearly in the division, I like them to win it all.
I think that they're back. I think they're a championship contender. I have long believed in the Kansas City Chiefs. I think that this is a team that still has the pieces. I didn't really believe in the Super Bowl hangover. I know it has happened for any number of teams. I think the Chiefs are different because Andy Reid is different, because Patrick Mahomes is different. And so when you factor that in, okay, they had a little dip. That's okay. They're allowed to have dips. But what we needed to see was not just 1 win by them, because, yeah, they'll always win football games. Not just 2 wins. I needed to see 3. And we finally have gotten that from these Chiefs now with their 3rd consecutive win, going into Vegas in a primetime game against a division foe who knows them and would know how to play them. Against a defense that, yeah, it dipped a little last week, but they can show up. And what I saw was a Patrick Mahomes who trusted his wide receivers. He trusted the offensive line in front of him. To B-Mac's point, the offensive line played better as well. They were able to get some sort of run game. The Raiders did not blitz. They played zone coverage. But Patrick Mahomes came into this game with a passer rating below 80 in the last 5 weeks against zone coverage, when in the previous 3 seasons he had a passer rating above 100 when facing zone coverage. He got plenty of zone tonight, didn't get blitzed, and we saw what he did, 35 of 50 with all of those touchdowns. Even that wasn't a great pass, but he still got the job done. And so then you look at the defensive side and what those guys were able to do, shutting down Derek Carr, who's played really well this year. Yeah, he misses Henry Ruggs out there, and he's still trying to figure out what Deshaun Jackson was doing on that play that resulted in the fumble. All those things said, though, this was a huge, huge win for the Kansas City Chiefs, getting them back on the right track, and now they're at the top of their division, and they will not let go of it.
All right, so quickly, you want the Chiefs or the other 3 teams in the division to win the division, B-Mac?
Kansas City.
Even money, you taking the Chiefs?
Give them to me.
All right, how about to make the Final Four? Even money. AFC Championship game. Chiefs, yes or no? -110 either way.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, how about to make the Super Bowl? Even money.
No.
3rd straight year, they're going to do it.
Yeah, even money. You're taking the Chiefs. You give me everybody else in the AFC.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, there you go. So that's how far we're willing to go with Kansas City right now. Meanwhile, Vegas. They lose to the Giants. Now they lose to the Chiefs. This is a team that has slid after having a good start a couple of times under John Gruden. Now there's no more John Gruden. They've had other distractions off the air. You look at the schedule. They're going to have to go to Dallas and Thanksgiving after getting the Bengals coming to their place. Bengals coming off the bye. Then Washington, who beat Tampa. Then they got to go to Kansas City after that. Then into Cleveland. The Colts on the road. Chargers, Broncos. Show me the easy one there. I mean, they're in trouble. What is going on with the Raiders? I feel like the Raiders are a team that I'm not buying the rest of the year at all.
I'm right there with you. I think the Cincinnati game, guys, is going to be a huge game for Oakland, because if they lose that ball game, then you travel to Washington, and of course you got Washington. I mean, you travel to Dallas, you got Washington and Kansas City once again, and then at the Browns. This Week 11 matchup against Kansas City is going to tell all of us if the Raiders have a legit chance.
Yeah, you got Cincinnati.
To get to the playoffs.
You got Dallas, and you got Washington at your place now the 10 days after Thanksgiving. I would think if I'm a Raider fan, I would think Vegas, we got to win 2 out of 3. Well, let's win 2 out of 3. If we don't win 2 out of 3, we got real trouble right here in Sin City. But if we can get 2 out of 3, we steady the ship, we'll be okay. Is that fair?
It's fair.
2 out of 3, or they're done?
Well, it's fair to hope that, but they're not going to do that. I mean, you look at what they rushed for. Josh Jacobs had 16 rushing yards. Kenyon Drake had 16 rushing yards. It seems like they were able to sort of rally around one another after the Gruden resignation, and they were able to pick up a couple of wins there. And then things started falling apart. You can only withstand so much. We've seen it from any number of teams. The only team that is sort of continuing and on their trajectory is the Tennessee Titans. Eventually, it catches up to you. What's happening right now with the Raiders is it feels like everything's catching up to them. Derek Carr isn't playing terrible football. He made one really bad throw tonight, but he's not playing football that is absolutely going to lose them football games. The defense has taken a step back. The offense can't be as strong as it once was. The running backs aren't running as well as they once did. The offensive line is sort of in shambles. All of these things are starting to happen to the Raiders because of all the external factors that have been happening to the Raiders. So I'm not surprised by the step back that they have taken whatsoever.
All right, ultimately, this becomes Kansas City figured it out on offense. I know the defense has played better and gotten better, but this is Pat Mahomes looking like vintage Pat Mahomes, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is 400 yards. This is 50 passes. This is 35 completions. This is 5 touchdowns. I thought we sort of agreed that if you play 2 high safeties and you just back off, that Pat Mahomes was going to struggle, right? You could get to him because the offensive line wasn't that great at pass blocking. You didn't have to blitz him. It was kind of like the Giants when they did to Brady in the Super Bowl. You back everybody off, and then you're what changed? What, I mean, you're a defensive guy. What changed?
The offensive line played better against the Raiders tonight. You look at the last time we saw the Chiefs struggle, it was against, Tennessee, right?
Yep.
Tennessee, and Tennessee did a tremendous job in being able to get pressure on Pat Mahomes, only rushing 4 guys, and dropping everyone, playing like an umbrella-like coverage and keeping everything in front of them. But if you play that type of coverage against Pat Mahomes and your 4 guys are not getting home, he will find a way to execute and find success. The Buffalo Bills, they had the same type of strategy, but their 4 guys got home. The Chargers, the Ravens, you have to find a way to put pressure on Pat Mahomes without bringing an extra hat to provide that pressure, because if you don't, a la from what we saw tonight, the Raiders just played soft coverage, and he just had his way against that said coverage. So you got to have a team that can put pressure on him rushing 4 guys.
And he got pressured 11 times today on the 50 dropbacks. I mean, that's in line with the sort of pressure he's gotten all throughout this season. Teams don't like to blitz him. He only got blitzed about 6 times today. It was about 10% of his dropbacks. That was in line with things. They just couldn't get pressure with their 4.
All right, so let's make sure that we sort of get a big picture view of what's going on in the AFC right now. Here are your AFC standings after a wild, kind of crazy day, because Monday night is an NFC game, so this is locked in at the end of the week. The Titans, all they do is win, win, win no matter what. Find another way today, beat New Orleans. 5 straight weeks they played a playoff team from last year. 5 straight weeks they've won. Bills, who now have to look in, objects in the mirror closer than they appear. And who's right in the mirror? But the Patriots at 6-4, same amount of wins. Ravens, I mean, the whole AFC North had a bad week except for Cincy, who seemed to win by not playing. But Pittsburgh tied Detroit. The other 2 teams lost. And then the Chiefs are now a division leader. How about that? Outside looking in, we're not saying that the Texans are in it or anything like that. So, Jags aren't in it, Jets aren't in it, Dolphins aren't in it. But anybody 5-5 or better, you'd have to think at least has to be thinking to themselves, why not us? Why not now? AFC, going to be a lot of fun.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.